once again to Umesikia Software YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to get all our latest uploaded video. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the errors that people have been experiencing and the questions which people have been coming to my WhatsApp and asking on what I've done in my YouTube video is not happening in them. Now we are going to change the code a little bit. I'm going to explain it using PHP, but I will upload also the Node.js with the corrected version of the Node.js and explaining comment. I will write comment on each and every line of code, not each and every line, the necessary parts where I will explain what I've changed and the errors that I've been getting now. Before we proceed to explaining what errors and fixing the errors that people have been asking, I'm going to share about the new website that I've just developed, which is called KDev Forum. You can visit it at kdevforum.com, which this is a forum where you can interact with other developers and share tech stuffs. And if you're a tech enthusiast, you can join the developer forum. I'll provide the link in the description below. Make sure you click it and join. Then you can post and ask your fellow developer and what they will help you out. For example, here you can see someone had just put in making a QR code using Python. You can get started with web scripting using the Chero.js. Even me, I've learned that now. I didn't know that. PHP, Documenta. You will find many topics now. I will provide also this link for the forum. This is me who have posted like 7 days ago on this is a forum where you will interact with other developers who have joined who have watched the full course of Callback API in both Node and PHP. You can ask them there what error you're experiencing. Maybe one will fix it for you. Even me, if I found a comment there, then I will fix it for you. I will help you out, and just come to this YouTube, to this forum and interact with your fellow developer. Now, let's get back to what made us do this video. Now, I will open my VS Code here. I don't know why I'm not here. I will open my VS Code. Let me cancel this. Here, I have recently discovered that M-Pesa Safaricom has just done an update in their portal, their documentation and everything. So I've discovered this when you have an old app which you created before they did this update. They have changed the update recently, because I always come here and see if they have posted a new thing. Even when you come to these APIs here, I've realized they have posted new things. Now let me when you come here, what you should do, don't use the app that you had created previously. Use create a new one, which will indicate itself here new. Then now use these new keys. Leave the old ones, because the old ones we are not getting now. For example, I can share my keys, because these are just for sandbox. Even if you use them, they will not help you out. Now you see here, these are my previous app, previous consumer key and consumer secret that I was using. But when you come here, you see they are the same. When you come here and use this and this, you will get an error. That's what I've discovered. You will get an error when you use the old keys to trigger the SDK. Now let's test it with the old keys. Now I've opened localhost Daraja and then access token.php, which is this file. You see this one. Now when you reload it, you will get this error, access token null, and this is what most people have been getting as an error, because it's not on my side, it was on Safaricom side, because I don't know what they did to the old apps, but the new apps, they're working perfectly. Like for example, now let's take this new consumer key, which from a key here. Then let's return to our website. Then take the new consumer key from the new app. Then let's replace it here. Now let's return to our browser. Our browser, which is here. Then let's reload the access token and wait. Now this means that we have successfully generated the access token, which we are going to carry out. We are going to use to carry out any API request in the M-Pesa API. Now that's error number 1 that people are getting. Now error number 2 is that people are not understanding what's the use of this access token. This access token is the one that the access token is what is used to carry out any API request. So any API request, be it B2C, C2B, SDK request, SDK query, any API which is in the M-Pesa API portal, and the Daraja API portal, you will always need an access token. You cannot carry any request to M-Pesa API without an access token. Now, people first need to understand what's the use of that access token. You will always need an access token in order to carry any API request. Now, let's go to SDK push. Now, most people are not getting the SDK push. Reason is because the previous app that were created were giving error, so it means we didn't have an access token. That's why the access token was wrong, and hence leading to failure in SDK request. Now you can see here from the top of my code, I have included an access token, meaning I need the access token in order to carry an SDK request. Now you can come here. This is my access token file, which I have included this so that I can access this variable from here. Have you understood? You need to get that concept that you need an access token in order to do any request. Now let's test the SDK push and see if we will get successful request in this number. Replace here your number. This is my number, and this is the amount. So here, this is the amount which the phone number which I've replaced it here. This, which is a party A, which I have accessed it here. Now let's now test it. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to first echo this which I've already commented. Now let's echo this curl. You see this curl request, here. This is what we are going to see if you have a successful request or a failure. And if you have a failure, we'll get the errors which we are going to handle. Now let's take this file, like doing this. Then let's go to our browser. Let's go to our browser. Let's go to our browser here. Then replace the SDK push here. Now you see we have a successful request accepted successful. Look, as you can see in my phone here, I have a successful request. This is the successful request which I have here. So it means we have a successful SDK push. Now that's error 2 which I've solved for people. Now the error 3 that most people are getting, and this has the highest number of people who are getting this error, is here, the callback. The callback URL, people were getting errors because of they didn't understand that in order to have an SDK push, in order to have an SDK callback, you just need to have a live domain, an active domain. Now I'm going to illustrate this in this video, which also people who are using Node, they should also learn from this. I'm going to update everything. Now this is my website. Now I'm going to set using a new website, which is for my friend, the app on a different domain, so that we can get each and everything that a callback, you need to know about the callback, because this is the most error I've been receiving. Now let me log into the new host. I host using Host Pinnacle. Let's log in. Then I'm going to use my friend's password here, where we are going to use his domain to explain what the SDK push and how we can get the callback. Now let's enter his file manager so that you can understand what is happening. Now here we have domains. Let me use his public directory. So if you see, I can, when I go direct to his app, he's building his website. So here I'm going to create a folder. Here I'm going to create a folder called M-Pesa, not M-Pesa, let me say, call it Pesa. Then create a new folder. Then inside here I'm going to create a callback.php. Then it means, even if I edit, let me edit, then let me write here some PHP code. Echo, this is where the callback will be. Let me write an exclamation, then let me close it, then save it so that we can check here. Let me write Pesa in the folder we have created, then callback.php. Let's reload. So this is, we are in that directory. Then let's pick this, then let's pick this URL, then we come here to our active domain, to our callback URL, then let's put it here. Then this callback, the codes that I've provided here, these are the exact code that we are going to use to test it. Now let's Control A, then Control C, so that we can get all the codes. Then let's paste it here, replace it with this, then save. Now our callback is on a live domain. Now let's test it from our local here. Then we pay using our phone. Then you'll see what will happen. Let me reload this again. It has reloaded. Now here on my phone I have an SDK push. Let me complete with my pin. Okay, then let's come here. You will find inside here, when we reload here, you will find the exact response. Now there is my message now from the Raja. Now here, when I reload this, I will get the M-Pesa callback, which it will automatically create this M-Pesa SDK response.json, which each and every time a transaction occurs, it will send it to that response. First, if it is not there, it will create. Then the next time when you trigger an M-Pesa transaction, it will deposit the data there. Now let us reload and see if you have our JSON. Now this is the M-Pesa response JSON. Now let's open it up. Now we have this. Let me take it, then I repost it. I paste it on this respond. Let me open, then let me format it with VS Code. Now wait a little bit. It will format it into the visible side. As we wait for that, now here, now let me see. I don't know what's up with this. Let me format it again. Now it has accepted to format. You can see here, these are the response which I have of this data. This is the successful data that we have. Now let's return to the callback. I want to add more information. Now you can see here, these are the same data which I have accessed it with using this. With the callback, I have accessed this data, then given it variables, which is this. So if you want to store the transaction ID, you can store this one. If you want to store the user's phone number, you can store this one on your database. So here, when you get when the result code is 0, meaning the result meaning that the transaction is successful, you can store this information in your database and do whatever you want to do with it. Now that's an error that I've fixed. Now the same case in our confirmation URL. It needs to be online so that you can get the response on your M-Pesa. You can get the JSON response on your M-Pesa in each and every time you carry out an M-Pesa. And the callback, the confirmation URL, you need first to register the URL where you're going to store it. That's why here, you can see confirmation URL. This is where when you enter that domain, it means that domain you have registered it. Each and every time the paybill receives a transaction, you will get there the transaction data there. So make sure the confirmation and the validation URL it's online so that you can get all the response. I think in my opinion and what I've read, those are the errors that I have covered and I've experienced from other people who have come to my inbox asking for how this works. I think I've solved the problem. And the other thing I want to add, I think I've forgotten, is this query. People are asking me about this query. This query is used to check transaction. For example, let's use this. This is the checkout ID, which we get after this. Not that we will this checkout ID, which is here. This checkout ID which we have here, let's copy what we had when we requested first the transaction. We had this checkout ID. Now let's come here to the query. When you take this query, let me see here, this is the checkout ID. Let me replace this checkout ID here, and then let's come and reload the query, this query. Let's reload this. You will see what will be the response. Let's take the query. When we are checking if that transaction with that checkout ID is successful. Let it load. It will take a while. Then don't know why it's taking a while to load. Now you see. No, sorry. Let me reload it again. I don't know what it's taking long. Let's wait as we check if there is an error here. We can echo this response here. Sorry. We can echo that. I don't know why it's taking long. Here, access token. Let me come here, then access token. What's up with it? What's up with it? It's accessing null variable message access token add on page 17, which is 17. On number 17, this is 13. 17 header. Invalid access token message. Let me post it there. The reason why I'm getting the error is because my wife I was not connected to the internet. That's why I was getting the error. Now let us reconnect it with another Wi-Fi. Now I'm connected, so let's now test. Now that's another error that people have been getting. Please make sure that you are connected to an internet so that you can just test any API. So let's do this and we test it. If it is working, now you see it means we have gotten a successful response, meaning the transaction is successful processed. So that's how you carry out a query using the checkout ID, which you can use it. You can build your application so that whenever someone requests an API, you can check continuously. You can write an Ajax so that it can check if the checkout ID which has been provided it's successfully processed or not, so that you can update it or do anything. You can be creative with it. Then that's the most errors that I've been getting. If you have another error, you can just write it on our forum, kdevforum.com, on the link that I've provided, the forum for the M-Pesa API, where you'll meet other developers. Or you can comment it down there. I will help you out, or you can WhatsApp me. I will help you up. If you want for production code, we'll guide you on my next video on how you can get the production code and how we will assist you in building your next application where you want to build to integrate M-Pesa API. Now that's all for our video. Please, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, because I'm giving free videos on the M-Pesa API, and I will give more as time goes by. So for now, we are at 549 subscribers. Please let us reach 100,000 subscribers and more. I will really appreciate. If you like what we are doing, you can support us. We have our till number, which is at the description below. You can support us and send something. So see you in the next video, where I'm going to integrate the M-Pesa API on a live application. Maybe I will choose between an e-commerce system or an in. You can vote it down there. You can give suggestions on what I should do. Should I do it should I do it on an e-commerce, or should I create like a loan application? You choose, then I will do that. See you in the next video. Please subscribe.